very proud to represent the USA, and as a personal dream, I don't think words can describe it.
For the first time since the 1980 miracle, the United States takes the gold.
Welcome back to the BOBcast. I'm your host, Bob Riney, President and CEO of Henry Ford Health. Today's guest is someone who has reached the absolute pinnacle of his profession, and he did it on one of the biggest stages in the world. Connor Hellebuyck became a USA hockey legend earlier this year as his performance in goal against Team Canada in the gold medal game at the Winter Olympics will be talked about for a very long time. Team USA won that game 2-1 in overtime behind Connor's 41, yes, you heard it right, 41 saves. His brilliance earned him the title of Best Goaltender at the Winter Olympics, a moment of pride not just for American hockey, but for everyone back home here in Michigan. Connor is a proud Michigander through and through, growing up in Commerce Township, Michigan, and attending Walled Lake Northern High School. From there, his path took him to the NHL, where he was drafted by the Winnipeg Jets and made his debut in 2015. He spent his entire career in Winnipeg, becoming one of the most respected and accomplished goaltenders in the league. Connor, thank you for being on the BOBcast.
No problem. Glad to be here.
Can you describe what the feeling is like when you skate out onto the ice for Team USA at the Olympics for the first time?
The USA will be led out by Connor Hellebuyck, NHL MVP in 2025.
Oh, the first time, it's, so many emotions going through. You're pumped with adrenaline.
That's a good roar from the crowd as Team USA ranked number 1 by the International Ice Hockey Federation onto the ice.
You got the butterflies in the stomach. There's just so many thoughts going through your head. I just remember going out there thinking, this is what I've been dreaming about for so long, and here it is. It's here right in front of me, and I was so excited.
Could not get a pass, the right pad of Hellebuyck. Huge stop chance. Oh, what a stop by Hellebuyck. Looks like he's got a force field around that blue paint. Connor Hellebuyck having the game of his life right now for Team USA.
How about the fan reaction? Tell me about experiencing that, because it's different than being in an NHL game, because there's this patriotism that surges.
Yeah, it's crazy because in an NHL game, you'll have your home crowd. But the Olympics, it's whoever showed up. And the USA and Canada both had a really good showing. So hearing chants and hearing the USA chant and moments of loudness in different parts of the arena kind of takes me back to college a little bit when you're going through the tournament games. Like for us, Hockey East tournament, we would have Lowell would be half the crowd in Providence one year and Notre Dame one year, and BC and BU and those teams, the half the crowd would, so they'd be going back and forth. So it kind of reminded me of those days where half the crowd would be screaming at moments and then the other half would be screaming at other moments. And that's an experience in itself that it's hard to explain, but it makes you feel so connected to your country when you're seeing the flag fly up and down and everyone's leaning over the handrails with a flag in their face and just trying to get it, any word in your ear, like the USA chant or a high five or just the flag, see the flag. It's a really, really special feeling.
I don't think there's any event other than the Olympics that bring this patriotism together in quite the way you see it.
No, I don't think so. And I think that was one of the biggest memories I'm going to have of the Olympics is just seeing how many USA fans came and really supported us and really felt connected to them.
When we had a chance to talk yesterday, you said something that really was intriguing to me, and that's that you talked about waking up the morning of the final game, and you didn't use these words, but what you described, I kept thinking to myself, you were in the zone. You were just in a place of confidence, a place of calmness. So is that an accurate description? And have you felt like that before, or was this something new?
It's pretty accurate. It was one of those mornings where you just woke up feeling great. And every step I took, I just felt the confidence growing. And maybe it was because I was having a good tournament and the team was playing great in front of me. And, everything just felt right. But that morning, I could do no wrong. And I can't say how many times I've actually felt like that. I've had moments where I perform like that. But waking up and spending an entire day feeling like that is something that I'll probably be chasing for the rest of my professional career.
Let's talk about the iconic stick save in the gold medal game.
Puck across, saved by Hellebuyck on Sanheim. And now McDavid moving in on Hellebuyck. He beats and is stopped.
When you made that save, did you in that moment know how special it was, or was it only after you saw it in replay that it kind of really came into view?
It was definitely the replay that it sunk in. I just remember the whole play developing and thinking I was all over the play, but I didn't realize, once I saw the puck miss the net, I realized something had happened, and I didn't realize how precise I was. I didn't know if I got it. There's like a small piece of it, or if he might have slightly missed it. I didn't realize how like perfectly lined up it was. And that's when the moment really sunk in. I was like, wow, out of my peripherals, and the half a second read that I made was spot on. And those moments don't happen that precise very often.
Speaking of moments that don't happen very often, on top of everything, being named the best goaltender in the Winter Olympics, that puts you in the elite of the elite. What was that moment like when you heard that?
Yeah, honestly, with everything else going on,
Couldn't take any more great.
Yeah, no, it was more of the, celebrating with my team.
Connor, how would you describe the fabric of this team that captured the gold medal?
Top to bottom, everyone had the chemistry, the grit, the grind, whatever it took, and that's how it was in the entire tournament.
When we got back celebrating with the country, I just felt like that was so much more important, that those small accolades didn't really ever settle in, and I never thought twice about them. It was like, oh, that's cool, now let's go bring this nation together.
The United States has not won an Olympic gold in men's hockey since 1980.
My whole mind shifted towards being in the U.S. and really seeing the impact it made, because when you're at the Olympics, and especially in Milan, we were in a bubble, and you don't really feel what's happening outside of it. And when we landed, you could really feel the magnitude of it.
So you knew this was a moment beyond hockey.
Yes, because I remember growing up thinking the exact same things about the guys I idolized. Ryan Miller's big performances, Jonathan Quick's, players ahead of me that I looked up to. And for a moment there, I didn't realize that now I'm in that role and I'm in those shoes. And that's what reflecting I kind of went to, because that's really cool to look back and seeing the progress of a player, and watching these legends and living up to the legends. And then after we won, we were having some of them FaceTime us, and we were sharing the victory with them, and just everything that went along with it was such a cool experience that it's really hard to pinpoint one spot.
I can only imagine that it comes in waves. You returned to Winnipeg after the Olympics. Was there any animosity from the fans there after you took down Team Canada?
Yeah, there was definitely a little bit of animosity. It's hard to say, because I've given my heart and soul to my city, and I know they love me, but they take hockey very seriously, and they did They did not enjoy that moment.
Speaking of Hockey Town, you've spent your entire life in a place where hockey is a big part of our culture. Was hockey in your family blood? Was it in your school blood? Or was this something that you just developed an interest in based on some friendships?
My parents never played hockey growing up, but my family was big Red Wings fan. We would always get together and we play street hockey together, and we had this thing called Hellebuyck's hockey. It's still running to this day. It's over 35 years of us getting together as a family playing street hockey. And I think that's probably where it started. And then obviously the hockey boom in Detroit was so big during that time. There's so many kids playing hockey that I remember being in the neighborhood. Kids would run by our house, and we'd, my brother would be staring out the window and see them and go grab our sticks and go jump in with them. So there's always a street hockey game happening everywhere. So I think that's probably what really got us into it, because there's such a big movement of hockey players.
So were you the goalie in street hockey?
Not at first, but when I got a little bit older, I gravitated to it quickly.
What made you gravitate to goalie?
It's hard to say. I think it's because I have an older brother. He would always shoot on me, and I had just a knack for it at a young age, and I really enjoyed it, and I was good at it, so it just made me want to do it even more.
I'm going to ask you to think about what you've learned about leadership through this whole experience, what you've learned about influence, and what it has told you about what the future may hold for you.
Leadership, there's so many different forms of it. That's what I've learned. There's leaders who talk a lot. There's leaders who motivate a lot. And there's leaders who just have an aura to them. And there's leaders that bring confidence just with the way they do things. And then there's leaders that show how work ethic is important and how hard work is the kind of leading by example. So, I've learned kind of where I've fit into those roles. And for me, it's a big confidence thing. Walk in a room and make everyone feel the way you're feeling. I think that's very important, and that's something that I bring.
Is there a coach role in your future that you could ever see?
Definitely. My first job was at Puck Masters. I was 18, and I'm teaching these young little kids, and I really had a passion for it, especially when you get the kids that were really into it, and I could literally see myself in them at that age. And it was really fun seeing some improvements over time. So I think when I'm done with my career, I think I'm probably going to go back and try to give what I've learned to the next generation.
That's a great thought. And speaking of the next generation, what message would you have to young folks that are debating about learning the game of hockey, but they have hopes of ultimately someday becoming an NHL player? People look to people like yourself and they think, I want to do what Connor's doing. What do you tell them?
I always tell them to believe in yourself, and not just, I want to be an NHL player, but truly believe that it's going to happen. And if you truly, to your heart and soul, believe that it's going to happen, the things that you do to start achieving that goal changes the output. The way you start to work and the way you start to study the game, and truly believing that you can do it shapes the path that you're going to take. I am now not going to miss a day because that is the person I want to be, and this is how I'm going to get there.
Michigan shined really bright in the Olympics. You had Jack Hughes, we had a number of skaters, and just, an incredible showing in the Winter Olympics. What does that say about our great state to you?
Well, I think it says it all. We do a lot of things right. We had that big hockey boom, and the passion Michiganders have is unparalleled with anything else. Any sport that you choose and you grow up loving, it never fades, it never dies. It's always going to be there. And then we have every sports team that you could possibly dream of. Now with the PWHL coming to Detroit.
In the 2026 PWHL draft, Detroit select goaltender from Florida, Andrea Bradley.
It's so crucial for the kids to grow up, and not only that, but the fans to be able to support it day in and day out. That really, the passion is always there, and it's what connects our communities.
That's the key. It connects our communities at a time when we're getting pulled apart in so many different ways. We're all hockey fans, we're all sports fans, we're all Olympic fans. In this case, we're all Connor fans, and it comes together and it makes a big difference. You get asked all the time about hockey, so I'm going to just finish with a couple of non-hockey questions. What's a hobby or a habit that you have that's not hockey related that people would be surprised by?
I do a lot of bass fishing tournaments. I don't know if you'd be surprised now seeing my mask at the Olympics, but I'm a huge bass fisherman and do a lot of those tournaments and have a lot of fun with it.
Finally, just talk to us a little bit about what family support has meant for you along this journey.
Oh, family support's everything. I mean, I can't thank my wife enough, and raising the two kids. I know it's not easy, especially when I go on road trips, and I'm constantly doing the things I love and trying to be the best version of myself professionally, but having the rock at home and taking care of the kids and being there and being stable for when I need to get down with some family time, and just get away from it all. It's so important to really have that balance, and it's been huge for me.
we really are extremely proud of not only what you've achieved in the Olympics, but how you're representing our great state and how you're demonstrating great leadership by role modeling and inspiring others. So thank you for being on the BOBcast, and congratulations on just an epic Olympic run.
Well, thank you. And thank you for the kind words, and thanks for having me.